Hello everyone, it's Instructor Driver, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to write an essay. First, many of you know that you need to do some preparation before you decide to write your essay. Obviously, you need to choose what to write about, but sometimes your first topic is a little bit general. It's important that you get your topic to be as specific as possible. The more specific your topic is, the easier your essay will be to write. To specify your topic, it's a good idea to begin brainstorming. And I know many of you have learned brainstorming techniques from other courses, so I'm not going to go through them here. But just remember, when you brainstorm, you need to do what works best for you. There is no right or wrong way to brainstorm. If you're writing an essay that includes research, you must research your topic prior to developing your thesis statement. And in a few moments, I'm going to tell you more about this thesis statement. But remember, before you write your essay, you need to research your topic. I run into a lot of problems with students who tell me they cannot find any research about their topic, and they just write their essay anyway. That's incorrect. You must research your topic before you have developed your thesis statement and have written your essay. So next, let's talk about this thesis statement. The thesis statement is the most important sentence of your essay. It needs to have a topic and a point about that topic. It must be clear and specific. And your thesis statement encompasses an essay's entire discussion. It cues the reader into the structure and organization of the essay. And I'm going to show you in a bit about how a general essay should be organized. But know that the thesis statement is generally one complete sentence or two complete sentences depending on the length of your paper, and it is usually located as the last sentence of your opening paragraph. You want to make sure that when you write this thesis statement that it is clear and specific. It does not contain any grammar errors. It should not be a question, and it must have a point. The thesis statement reveals to the reader your overall purpose in writing the essay. In a way, with the thesis statement, you are giving away the ending. Remember, when you're writing an essay, you are not a mystery writer. You are a lawyer. You are telling people up front what you plan to prove. And this thesis statement is the last sentence of your opening paragraph. So let's go through what a strong thesis contains. A strong thesis makes a point, has a clear topic, is written clearly, no grammar errors, and is specific. The more specific your thesis statement is, the stronger your essay will be to write. So that's why it's important to brainstorm and narrow your topic down and research it before you write your thesis statement. Now let's look at the general components of an essay. First, in the first paragraph, you want to introduce your topic, and then you want to lead in to your thesis statement. Think of it like a funnel. You start with a general hook, and you get more and more specific, and then you end your introduction with your thesis statement. The next few paragraphs are your body. They are your main ideas, and you have to add support for those main ideas. And the body serves to prove the thesis statement. That's why the thesis statement is so important. Your entire essay is structured around this thesis statement. Each of your body paragraphs, and notice I say body paragraphs plural because there are more than one usually, have one idea, contain specific support to back up that one idea, and serve to prove the thesis statement. In my particular courses, I prefer each of these paragraphs to be at least 5 sentences. The same holds true for the introduction and your conclusion. Your conclusion is the summary of your essay. You don't bring up any new ideas in your conclusion. It serves to highlight that thesis statement and give you and the reader an overall point and purpose to your essay. Shows the reader the overall purpose of your essay, but you do not bring in any new ideas. A lot of students hate outlining. However, outlines are very, very useful when you try to write an essay. It helps you keep organized, it helps you stay on track, and it helps you get a better idea of what you are actually doing with your essay. And usually you can use an outline before drafting, but I like to use them after drafting because it tells me whether or not I've stayed on track and have proven my thesis statement. And it helps you see your ideas in a logical manner so you can see what you're trying to do and what you're attempting to do with your essay. If it isn't clear to you, guess what? It's not going to be clear to the reader either. It also helps you spell out the main points and the supporting details. That's your body paragraphs. The body paragraphs have the main points and they serve to prove your thesis statement. But an outline is really up to you. You don't have to use them. I like them. I find them highly useful. However, in all cases, you do want to do some sort of revision with your essay. So here's some basic reasons about why you might want to outline your essay. It helps you organize your ideas in your paper. It gives you a map. You know, a lot of us use GPSs today, and it helps us, these GPSs helps us go to where we want to go without getting lost. Well, think of an outline like a GPS. It helps you go where you want to go, and it helps you not move off track, stay on course, and it helps the leader not become lost. I find them valuable in planning and in revising. You don't have to use the outline before you write your essay. You can always outline your essay afterwards to see if you stayed on track. So while you're revising your essay, make sure that you have an introduction, body, and conclusion. Those 3 components are non-negotiable. You must have all of them. Also non-negotiable is your thesis statement. It needs to be at the end of your introduction. You need to make sure you supply sufficient details and examples in your essay. Most instructors prefer at least 3, and it must follow a logical organization. For example, if you're comparing and contrasting, if you start with one point, you always need to start with that same point. And if you're using a cause and effect essay, you show the cause before the effect. It just needs to have a logical method of organization. It helps that within your body paragraphs, if you use some sort of transitions, using words such as first, next, then, however, and finally are extremely helpful when revising and updating your essay. As I said before, you need to make sure you have a separate paragraph for each detail point. Begin each one with a topic sentence that introduces the new point. Do not end the previous paragraph with the topic sentence. The transition should come at the top of the paragraph. And you need to provide enough detail and explanation for that topic. I would say at least 5 sentences per paragraph. Well, that's it. I hope this clarified things for you. If you have any questions, let me know, and I wish you the best of luck with your essay.